Your cat is sitting at the window, completely still, eyes locked on a bird just beyond the glass. You've seen this scene so many times it almost feels ordinary. And then it happens. That strange, rapid chattering sound. Not a meow, not a hiss, but something in between. It's sharp, almost mechanical, like their teeth are trying to say something their voice can't. Most people shrug it off. They think it's excitement, maybe frustration, a quirky little habit that doesn't really mean anything. But if that were true, why does it only happen in this exact moment? Because when your cat actually hunts, when something is within reach, they go silent, completely silent. So why make noise now? That's the first clue that something deeper is happening, something that isn't random at all. And once you start to question it, you realize this behavior doesn't quite fit the simple explanation you've always believed. There's a gap there, and that gap is where the real story begins. Watch your cat carefully in that moment. Their body tightens, the tail moves slowly, almost like it's measuring time. The ears lean forward. The pupils widen until their eyes look almost black. Every part of them shifts into something older, something instinctive. Most people see this and think they're just excited. But that explanation doesn't go far enough, because this isn't how a relaxed animal behaves. This is how a vulnerable animal behaves right before a critical moment. And yet, instead of acting, instead of moving forward, they're stuck. There's glass in the way. And here's what doesn't make sense at first. Cats are built for precision. Every movement they make is controlled, efficient, intentional. They don't waste energy. They don't act without purpose. So why would they produce a sound that could scare away prey? That's the contradiction. And contradictions like this usually mean one thing. Something deeper is happening beneath the surface. Something internal. Something you can't see. And if you understand what's really going on inside your cat in that exact moment, it will completely change how you hear that sound. Because it's not just noise, it's a signal. Here's where it shifts. Because that sound your cat makes isn't just emotion. It's a process that has already begun. The second your cat locks onto that bird, something inside their brain activates almost instantly, not slowly, not gently. It switches on. Their body is no longer resting. It's preparing. Heart rate rises, muscles tense. Focus narrows into a single point. Most people think their cat is just watching, but they're not. They're already hunting. There's a sequence built deep into them, something ancient. Spot, stalk, chase, pounce, catch, finish. Every step flows into the next like a chain that was never meant to be broken. And in that moment, the chain starts. But it doesn't finish. It can't. There's glass in the way, so everything builds and builds with nowhere to go. And that's the turning point most people miss. Because that strange chattering sound, it's what happens when an instinct begins, but has no ending. It's not just frustration, it's interruption. Your cat's brain is running a program it cannot complete. And when you realize that, the sound stops being funny. It becomes something else entirely, something almost emotional. Next time your cat makes that sound, don't look at their eyes, look at their jaw. It moves fast. Small, precise, almost trembling. Open, close, open, close. Over and over again, like something is trying to happen, but never quite does. Most people see this and think it's just part of the noise, just a physical reaction to excitement. But it's not random, it's familiar. In the wild, when a cat finally catches its prey, everything ends in one specific action. A quick, perfectly placed bite to the back of the neck. Fast, controlled, final. It's not messy, it's not chaotic, it's exact. And that exact same motion is what you're seeing in that tiny, trembling jaw. The body remembers what it's supposed to do. even when there's nothing there. So your cat isn't just watching the bird, and they're not just frustrated they can't reach it. They're rehearsing the end of the hunt over and over again, without ever getting there. That's what that movement is. A memory of something that should happen but doesn't. And once you see it like that, it changes the feeling completely. Because now it's not just instinct, it's something unfinished. Now take a step back. Your cat is inside, safe, fed, comfortable. There are no real threats, no real hunts, no real need to survive the way their ancestors did. And yet, in front of that window, something ancient wakes up. Most people believe domestic cats left that world behind. That what you see is just a softened version of something wild. But that's not entirely true, because in that moment, your cat isn't adapting to your home. They're returning to something much older than it. There's a theory researchers have explored, one that sounds almost unbelievable at first, that sometimes those chattering sounds aren't just internal release, but an attempt to reach outward. Not consciously, not deliberately, but instinctively. In the wild, survival isn't just about speed or strength. It's also about deception, confusion, sound. Some wild cats have been observed mimicking the calls of their prey, just enough to make the target hesitate, just enough to close the distance. And here's the unsettling part. If you listen closely, your cat's chatter sometimes almost matches the rhythm of the bird they're watching. Not perfectly, but not randomly either. So now the moment changes again. Because your cat might not just be stuck in a hunt they can't finish. They might still be trying to start it, even through glass, even when it's impossible. And that means what you're hearing isn't just frustration or memory, it's instinct reaching across a barrier, trying, in its own way, to break through. Now here's something most people never pay attention to. What happens when the sound stops? Your cat sits at that same window. The same birds pass by. The same world moves outside, but one day, there's no chatter, no trembling jaw, just silence. Most owners don't think much of it. They assume their cat just lost interest. Maybe they're getting older, maybe they're calmer. But that change means something. Because that sound was never random to begin with. It was energy, drive, instinct trying to complete itself. And when it disappears, it can mean one of two things. Either your cat has found another way to release that instinct, or something inside them has gone quiet, not peaceful quiet, but muted. Cats don't show discomfort the way we expect. They don't complain. They don't explain. They adjust, and they hide the shift. So when a behavior this specific suddenly fades, it's not something to ignore. It's something to notice. Because just like the sound itself carried meaning, its absence does too. And most people only realize that much later than they wish they had. At some point, if you've been paying attention, the whole picture starts to change. Because that moment at the window was never really about the bird. It feels like it is. It looks like it is. But the bird is just the trigger. The real story is happening inside your cat. Most people believe their cat is reacting to the outside world, that everything you see, the focus, the tension, the sound, is caused by what's out there. But it's not. It's caused by what's already inside them, that ancient sequence, that instinct, that need to complete something they were built to do. And here's the part that changes everything. Your cat doesn't need the bird to be a hunter. They already are one. Even in a quiet room, even in a safe home, even lying next to you. That window just reminds them. It wakes something up that never really went away. So when your cat sits there, chattering at something they can't reach, it's not about failure. It's about identity. It's their nature surfacing, even in a world where it no longer has a place to fully exist. And suddenly, that small, strange sound doesn't feel small anymore. It feels like a glimpse into who they really are. So the next time your cat sits at the window and that strange sound begins, you'll hear it differently. Because it was never just a cute habit. It was never just frustration. It was something much deeper. Most people spend their lives thinking their cat is simply adapting to them, living in their world, following their routines. But the truth is, your cat is carrying an entire world inside them. A world where every movement has meaning, where every instinct has a purpose, where every moment like this is part of something much bigger than your home, your walls, your glass. And in that small, quiet scene at the window, you're not just watching your cat. You're watching something ancient try to exist in a modern life. The sound, the tension, the stillness, the unfinished motion. It's all part of that. Your cat isn't broken. They're not confused. They're exactly what they've always been. And maybe that's the part that stays with you. Because behind the soft fur, the quiet steps, the peaceful sleep beside you, there's something wild, something precise, something that never disappeared. It just learned to live right next to you.